Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Third thing we're brought to you by is Rat Bat. You got rats? Want to kill bats? Kill them with a rat bat. Fourth thing we're brought to you by is hot dog flavored water ingredients. If you want to add it to your smoothie, hot dog flavor ingredient. We'll get started. Okay, so first thing first, what's your name?
Tommy Martin.
Tommy Martin. And I want to talk to you about boxing. You've been boxing a long time. Actually, we can talk about MMA too. How long have you been boxing for?
Let's see. Man, now I get to think about that. I say I started when I was 11 years old. I started when I was 11 years old. We were doing 12 years old. Excuse me, 12 years old. We did some amateur boxing when I was young, and then I stopped. I only did like maybe like 2 fights, and then I remember in high school, but I gave it up. And then in high school, we started a backyard boxing. Some of the guys, and sometimes it'd be one glove. You know what I'm saying? It'd be one glove. It'd be a Duke out. No weight divisions. Those were like, if I'm drifting off now, those were kind of like my proudest moments. I don't know if I ever showed you that belt that at the house.
Yeah.
The cardboard one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to have like 7 of those, and I'm still friends with some of my high school friends, but I wish I would see them be like, hey, look at what I still have, man. I still have, I still got all the nice belts, but I still have the cardboard ones, and so many memories. Like way we had it was, it was Trevor Brown High School, and the way we had it was each person had like some kind of ring or something in their backyard. Sometimes it wasn't a ring, sometimes, and sometimes it was one glove, sometimes it was 2 gloves, sometimes people had their stuff together where they had a ring. My place, my house, we actually made a ring, 4 posts. We did well. We had a judge's table. We did it big. And I remember a friend of mine, Victor Page. He was really like a good artist. Like he could, like with a marker, he could draw your face with a felt marker.
Mm-hmm.
He could draw your face like to the T. Like he was that good of a
He boxed too?
No, he was just kind of like, we called him the commissioner. You know what I'm saying? He's big, tall dude, lanky dude, and he just liked to get into it. And he was just an artist, and he made I was just dumbfounded. He made a replica of the WBC belt, the green one. He made it out of plastic. And it took him like, I don't know, like a month to do. And dude, this thing was awesome. And I didn't get a chance to fight for it. I was pissed off because, I was one of the guys that were like, I had most of the belts. A guy named Bill Bennett and Adrian Harris fought for it. And, well-deserved Bill Bennett, because Bill didn't win that many fights. He's one of those guys that he fought everybody but didn't win that many fights. Well, that night he took everything Adrian had, and Adrian fell down from exhaustion. Literally fell down from exhaustion.
War of attrition.
Bill took that belt. I remember him taking that belt. I remember a picture of him taking that belt. Bill was like a hick kind of guy, and he moved like the 3 days later. He moved. He moved with the belt. Took the belt with him. Moved. Vic was all pissed off. We never seen the belt again.
Oh, couldn't get the belt back.
I seen him like 4 years later. And again, we were in high school, so 4 years later, we were out of high school. And, we were I guess he walked from somewhere. He was living in Kansas, and I asked him about the belt, and he stayed a night at my house, and disappeared again. I never seen him again, man.
Where did you guys learn to box at?
You know what?
Just fans of boxing, or did you guys train anywhere?
I trained it somewhere, but I would say my biggest teacher of boxing was TV. It was Rocky, man. That was my biggest teacher. Watching. You know what I'm saying? I was always, I grew up with a disability all my life. You know what I'm saying? Through high school, a learning disability. I was better of watching someone do something than you telling me.
Yeah.
You telling me
That's the way you learn. You learn for.
I have to watch. I have to see it be done.
So you were a fan of just fights, boxing fights, but also just the movies of Rocky too.
I honestly don't remember. One day, just boxing came in my life. I don't even thinking about it now as you telling me. I don't remember like, oh yeah, I like watching fights and stuff like that. Like, I grew up in the era of my favorite fighter growing up as a kid was Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield was
Really?
well, oh yeah, Evander Holyfield was my. And I tell some of my friends to this day will tell you I stood behind him. Won some money behind him too. Evander Holyfield. I remember going to like bars before it was popular to go to bars. You know what I'm saying? To go watch fights, and it was Evander was just a man who was just. Remember when he fought Mike Tyson, and remember the ear biting thing?
Oh yeah.
I won $1,000 when he fought. I told everybody Evander got his number. Evander got his number, and
He's a way bigger guy. You know.
Who, Evander?
Yeah, he's way bigger than.
No, actually
Taller.
I think he's like about
Reaches more.
2 inches.
Wow.
They're actually because Mike was used to fighting guys that were humongous.
Huge guys, yeah.
So this is why Evander was so effective against him, because Evander was a similar size.
Okay.
So Mike couldn't get in because Mike fought the Customato style, the old come in angles, inside punch, inside fighter. Well, Evander is an inside fighter. And Evander is what they call a head fighter. You know what I'm saying? He uses his, and it's not illegal. He just uses his. He keeps his head in the pocket.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a weapon. And
He
boom.
hits- yeah.
And that's why Mike got all pissed off.
Guys
because
headbutted
yeah. But that was he didn't have, literally. He just stood his head in there and stayed in there.
Yeah.
Mike doesn't keep his head in there.
No,
He's
he moves his head,
he moves his head out the way. Evander will keep that big noggin right in there. And since we're talking about this. And to all who's listening, since I'm a big Evander Holyfield fan, we just recently heard, we saw Mike Tyson fight Roy Jones.
Yep.
And
you thought? Did you like that fight?
it was decent. It was decent. Well, it was a good fight. I wish the rules were, I wanted to see, something a little more. Mike pressed the fight, but Evander Holyfield next day called out Mike and said, "Hey, dude, the whole world wants to see us do
for sure.
a third.
Oh, that would be way.
that would be money.
That would be tons of money.
That'd be money. A third fight.
I don't like watching these old guys fight though. Like even in MMA, I didn't like it. I don't like. Even in basketball is the only other sport I really follow. I don't like it. It like tarnishes my nostalgic feeling about these guys. Like I like imagining them on the top, and when you watch them on the downhill, man, it's just sad.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Like,
but that chance,
they're like
though,
heroes. Like
Yeah.
I don't want my heroes to fall, even though everybody does. This is the way of the world. Like you don't get to hold the funny thing is about all of fighting is like you're not the top forever. You just get this little
glimmer.
and
Yeah.
that's it. And like when people always argue the best ever or the GOAT and all this stuff, but it's like each style, each era was different. So like you can't plop a modern fighter back in the old fight. It's just different. Like they're just different.
Styles are different.
Styles are
different.
different.
The game is
the game is different. Yeah.
Scored is different. Who you think is the best?
Boxer?
I would say GOAT. Everybody says the word GOAT. So as MMA, the best MMA fighter
ever.
Yeah, I'm going MMA because MMA is your
I'm
field.
I'm a little
so
bit more
I
MMA.
want to know.
Here's the thing, Khabib is the best in my opinion because otherwise, okay, I would say John Jones is, but the problem with John Jones is he got busted with steroids.
Yes.
So it's always like an asterisk. It's always like, and what bothers me is I don't think he ever needed it. Like it helps you train more. This is the thing that people don't understand about steroids. It's not about the strength. Everyone thinks it's because he hits harder. No, man. That means he can train
he can get up in the morning and he can train. By afternoon, he's already healed. He's not even tired. He can train again. He train, and then he can train at night.
It
You could
pushes
train
him harder.
You could train 3 times. Think about reps. Like if you're throwing a jab and you want a lightning jab. What's the best way to do it? The more
Train,
you
train,
throw
train,
it, throw.
train, yeah.
But most people, if you're not taking steroids, you can't. You'll wear your shoulders out. You'll wear your muscles out. You can't throw it forever. But when you're taking different steroids like that, they can train and train and train. And then the next day they can do it again. That's the other thing. Maybe one day you can train all day, you train real hard, but your body needs to recover. But when they're taking steroids, it's instant recovery. It's about recovery, in my opinion, not about the strength.
Let's see it.
Now, recovering will make you stronger because you can put more weight you can bench more. You recover, boom, you can up your weight. You can recover, up your weight. Where like a normal person, it takes them longer to recover. Like you're just sore and already broken. So that's my thing. I think Jon Jones is way more talented. I just think he's just a freak athlete.
He's had more high priority fights though. To win like 15.
Yeah,
high
but some of those
priority-
fights you can argue he lost. Gustav fight, I thought he lost the fight. He got wheeled out. He had to go to the hospital. Gustav walked out of there. Like he was on a gurney when he left that fight.
Mm-hmm.
He smashed his toe. I thought he lost that fight. The last couple fights, I didn't watch those fights, but a lot of people said he lost a couple of those fights too when he went up in weight. He's not as dominant. Khabib never lost a round, really.
Yeah, that's true.
A round, not a round, and never been cut. And in MMA, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To never be cut, never bleed,
But
never
how
never
many
bled out of his nose.
priority opponents has he?
A lot. I mean, he's fought some top dudes, man.
Well, yeah, contenders, but stars. If I'm McGregor,
Justin Gaethje.
I'm Justin Gaethje, one of my all-time
I
favorite.
thought this was going to be
fighters.
the closest
Oh my
fight.
God.
I thought Justin Gaethje had a fight.
Yeah, I thought too.
I thought he had
yeah.
and he's a hometown Arizona boy, so I'm voting. I'm rooting for him. I want him to win. I like Khabib. I like Khabib because he doesn't talk trash, really. Like unless you press him. McGregor thought he was going to be able to rattle him because McGregor rattled the Brazilians. Like he pissed them off, and they're emotional people. But Khabib is a stone cold killer. Like that dude's a
choker.
straight
Small
up
choker.
whole killer. And he ran into shots. Gaethje hit him with some hard shots.
Yeah.
He walked through them. Those are shots that Gaethje's dropped dudes.
Some leg kicks. I saw him
And
leg
those
kicks.
leg
He
kicks
took
are
him.
bad too. But
He took
even
him.
his fists, Gaethje's knocked dudes out. He's got knockout power, and he just walked through them. And then later when I watched that fight, I watched the 2 takedowns that he did in the first round, and when I rewatched it, it was so technical. And if you don't know what you're looking at, he cut the angle so that he likes to use the cage, so you can't sprawl. So when you do a takedown, one of the easiest ways to defend is to shoot your legs back and sprawl. So the guy comes in and you drop your weight on him, and you can cross face and you can come with shots too in MMA. He does it so he walks you so the cage is here. He'll walk you so you're near the cage. You can't sprawl because you'll run into the cage.
And then boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
And he caught it at an angle. Then guys will try to walk themselves up to stand up against the cage. They lean against the cage to walk themselves up. When you watch that fight, he takes his wrist. He doesn't allow him to stand up. He can't even
He
post.
hangs out right on their
He posts on his wrist, and he just takes it away. And then the guy, he's like sitting,
he's back
just
down,
engaged, he's
boom.
sitting. And then I've seen him many times before when he takes someone down, he takes his legs and wraps them around the opponent's legs so you can't post up and you can't get on a knee and you can't stand back up. And then he just slowly smothers you, and then he'll ground and pound or choke the living crap out of you. And this last fight, his jiu-jitsu was ridiculously good. Like I've seen him before where I thought he's a wrestler that knows okay stand-up, not great, and amazing ground and pound with a few guillotines, an arm bar, very simple jiu-jitsu. Not his movement was good. He had good hips and things like that. But this last one, his transitions from armbar to triangle and mount to rolling to the triangle, it was like it was super high level. I was super impressed by his ability to move. So I don't know. And then GSP, I would say GSP would be a GOAT too, but like when he started fighting safe, it's just boring, you know, like it's like Khabib was never fought safe. He always tried to finish dudes. Always try to finish
Came
dudes.
forward.
Always come forward.
It's
And John
the
Jones,
Mexican Russian style.
yeah, but that's more fun. And
Yeah, it
for
is.
me, it's more dangerous. So the fact that you're doing that and you still
You're
don't
pressing-
get
you're pressing the fight, too.
pressing the
You're pressing
fight,
the fight.
you don't get dropped. That's a crazy, bro. Everybody gets hit. You've boxed. I've boxed.
No, who likes to get
To
hit?
not-
Nobody.
To not get messed up after a fight is the most impressive thing for me, I guess, is to never bled. You've never bled in MMA. That's insane.
Yeah.
This,
You know, that is insane.
this morning, I was telling it someone earlier today that I woke up with screaming in my house. Me and my wife were sleeping. I hear, I'm bleeding. I wake up and Carly's like, what's going on? I look and my son is just bleed like a fountain out of his nose. But I don't remember if he's ever had a bloody nose before. He's had bloody lips, but not a nose. So he didn't know to like pinch your nose, pinch
Yeah.
your nose, let it go back. So I'm like, put your head back. It's just pouring out of his nose. And I go, okay, what happened? What's going on? I pinch his nose. I stopped the bleeding. Brock, his older brother, punched him in the nose. So like, those are little kids. They can't even hit hard. You mean like my son probably weighs, I don't know, 60 pounds? 60 pounds punching you in the nose. I mean, his little brother weighs less, but like these are grown-ass men that's what they do for a living is punch people in the face. And you've never bled,
you've
never
been
broken
damaged.
nose,
Yeah.
never bloody lip. Like
That's
even
impressive.
a bloody lip, that's easy to get.
Yeah.
Lips are they bleed easy. Or cuts, with the little gloves, the eyebrows get cut way easier. The
With the
boxing,
Velcro and the
boxing,
tape
Yeah,
and-
the boxing gloves can roll a little bit more off your face. I mean, they still feel like get hit by a
Even a
sledgehammer.
knuckle up here getting
Yeah.
hit with that. You can rip across
Rip the face, yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's my how I go about. Those are the three dudes. Would be John Jones, Khabib, and who was the other one I said?
GSP.
GSP, yeah. And I love GSP, but those last ones were like he would just win scorecards. He wasn't trying to put people away. Like in MMA, man, I think you need to put people away. And that's just the thing that people talk about Mayweather, is he would outpoint people. But if you like love boxing, it's beautiful to me. Like Mayweather is beautiful boxing. Like it's the creme of the creme technique. Like it's so smooth. I love watching smooth fighters. So like boxing, I like the guys that aren't put. It's not. It's easier. It's harder to put people away in boxing than it is in MMA. The gloves are smaller in MMA, and I think the defense is better in boxing. They have better defense than MMA defense, and they don't have to worry about takedowns and kicks. So you can worry about shells or whatever your type of
Tighten up.
Yeah,
You
tighten up. You could fade a little bit. Sometimes when you fade in MMA, they will change levels and shoot on your legs because you're up. So there's things that they have to worry less about, but they're going to be, because of that, they can have better hands, better technique with the way that they throw their hands. Like I think, or even their footwork too. Their footwork is better in MMA. Boxing, way better footwork, way better.
More traditional.
Yeah, but they can cut. You see the angles better in boxing. You can go really close and change angles, and you don't see that as much as MMA. Maybe that's because of the kicks and the knees. I don't know why, but I feel like boxers spend more time on their footwork than MMA guys, and maybe because it's more things you have to worry about in MMA. There's more disciplines to like, I got to be good at wrestling. I got to be good at striking. I got to be kicking. I got to be punching. I got to be good at jiu-jitsu, and if you're weak on any of them, you'll get exploited, you know?
Once there's a game plan.
Yeah, the game plan,
Yeah.
there's more to exploit. When boxing's like, and we're not at the level yet where we're getting close, But in boxing, there's guys that have been boxing since they were kids. Like Mayweather's been boxing since he was a little
He was
boy.
born and bred in it.
Yeah, born and bred, and his dad was a master, and like, so then you hand that down. We haven't had a lot of MMA fighters yet hand it down to their kids yet. You know what I mean?
True.
And when that happens, I think you'll see the quality like go crazy high at that point, because
Well, it's already gotten high since
since it
I watch
beginning.
fights. I watch fights now because thank God for ESPN Plus. I get to watch fights every
Yeah.
Saturday night.
for sure.
I see moves now, and I see technical fights that and I, even I've had I had a handful of MMA fights, but and I have a boxing and Muay Thai fights, but I watch these guys now. They're so technical that they whip my ass.
Oh yeah.
They're just so technical. Once I my last MMA fight that I had up at APC, dude got me to the ground, man. I got worried, bro. I was already tired. I had to move up a weight class, 170, and I wore these spandy pants. Yeah, and nothing but carne asada just sticking outside of my, I roll. Normally, I don't have no rolls on me. I just 170 Tommy is not. It doesn't look pretty.
Guy.
No, I was just eating like donuts and shit. I was just okay. I'm gonna make this weight because it was APC. You have to be at that weight. And I fought a guy that Richard Seal, and Richard Seal. I fought him before in boxing. I knocked him out, but the guy's just tough. He had more ground experience than me.
That's the problem with him. Not the problem with MMA, but like, if one fighter doesn't know jiu-jitsu and it goes to the ground, and the other guy does know jiu-jitsu, it's over. In striking, you can kind of run around. Like, you could kind of run. Now, you're going to be booed, and you can cover a lot.
And
some people could just take shots. Like, some dudes just could take beatings. You're going to lose score. Like, the scorecard, you're going to lose because you were basically a punching bag. But there's some dudes that you hit him, you're like, what the fuck? Like, I hit him hard, and he just didn't.
And then boom, you're done.
But in jiu-jitsu, it's like,
done.
But in jiu-jitsu, like, if someone chokes you, it doesn't matter. There's no hard chin in choking. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys with hard chins in striking. But in grappling, there's no such thing. Like, you're getting choked, you're getting choked.
That reminds me of I saw this fight in Surprise. This guy he fought out of this jiu-jitsu gym over in 32nd Street in Union Hills, and this guy he fought this guy. And he took 30 some shots to the head. And what was it? Did you triangle him?
Oh, that was me. Yeah.
It was like, you're talking about like chins.
He took.
he hit you how many times?
He hit me a lot.
I remember you talking
me
about
a
it
lot.
afterwards. He's like, dude, it just kept on punching me. I was just waiting and I got him.
I counted it one time. I don't remember what I watched the video and slowed it
like
down.
32 shots or something like that.
It was a crazy amount of shots. He hit me in the nuts too. He kneed me. I'm pretty sure that was they wanted me to take a beating that night. I think that they gave me that guy. He was young, dude.
He was a stud. He was a stud.
Yeah.
And then he knew who you were. Then if he did any background on you like anybody would, excuse me, any stud that would, they would. Okay, I know. They'll do. I found out all this stuff. I want to take his scalp.
Yeah. They were.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like, because if he did any background on you, he's gonna be like, okay, he just jiu-jitsu. Then only chance I got is to bang him. You know what I'm saying? And he tried, and it just wasn't. He gave good effort.
He gave good effort. I actually jumped. I did this weird thing. It's not even a takedown, but I got him down to the ground, and then I armbarred him and so fast. Once I hit the ground, I think it was 20 seconds or something like that, and I popped his arm or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can take shots. I don't feel like I hit hard though. I'm not a hard hitter.
Oh, I was never known as a knockout.
And I'm not
either.
I wouldn't even say because some guys maybe don't hit hard, but they can accurate.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even say I'm accurate either. I'm not even pinpoint accurate either. I got
I'm just there.
I got okay hands. I would say C minus. If you're gonna get me, I'm just gonna be honest. I have a C- hands. I know how to box.
You have
doesn't mean I'm
I'll give
good at
awkward
it.
for you. I'll give you awkward.
I'm
I sparred
awkward.
you. I give
Oh,
you
no,
awkward.
I do. I
you
also do-
southpaw, you're awkward.
Oh yeah, I switch stance a lot. I'm lefty, and I originally learned how to fight striking right-handed. So then later on, I started training with Carlos. Carlos Alvarez. I said, hey man, I just want to box. Can you teach me how to be a legit southpaw? Like I'm southpaw, but I'm not a southpaw. And then I was working with you too with the hands, and I thought it was fun. Like I tried when we did boxing, it was fun, but I don't. I just didn't want to get hit like that anymore. I just didn't want to get hit like that anymore.
Those are the days
know?
of Roland's
UCFCs and stuff?
UCFCs.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, man. I miss those, man. I had so much fun with those. I wish they would have. I don't know what happened in the whole situation,
Yeah.
but man, I really miss it because we had some fun times. Ronnie got his start through those, and I was like the legend of the UCFCs. You know, Roland gave me all. I won. My 20 belts out the UCFC in like 9 weight divisions. You know what I'm saying?
I liked it because we could get guys
Started.
fights, yeah,
Started.
and not throw them to wolves.
And then we could get like
And fair fights too. Like I didn't try to set up any fights that weren't fair for Ronnie at all.
Oh yeah.
Not lopsided for him either. I wanted challenging, but
speaking of Ronnie, if we're gonna talk about Ronnie, Ronnie very much earned his as amateur, very much earned his way. Like I had the opportunity where I got to throw a choice in his opponents, and even I threw one of my best boxers against him one time. He went the full distance with him.
Yeah.
Ronnie went the full distance, and you remember Cody?
Yeah.
Cody was a member here too, but Cody was at one time was sharp, and I threw Ronnie in with him. And Ronnie stood his ground all 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Ronnie couldn't get him down because I knew Ronnie. I knew what I'm saying. I kept on having him spin out, and I had a plus. I had a very 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 much plus for it.
It was good
you,
footwork.
You weren't in his corner.
well,
You weren't in his corner. I knew that. But again, I was working. I was here at the gym, but I was doing Cody on the side. And what I was trying to tell Ronnie at the time, and I hope Ronnie listens to this. What I was trying to tell Ronnie at the time was, if Ronnie goes back to it now, the complete fighter that he is, because we had problems when growing up because he didn't look the way I was trying to teach him. I had Cody push him at a press conference, and that was and Cody was like, "Well, I don't want to push him." I was like, I told him push him, and Ronnie will go back to this and be like, "Oh, really? This is really what happened?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanted to prepare Ronnie for the future."
the future, yeah.
And someone's gonna rally you, and
for
Cody
sure.
Cody will tell you this day he didn't want to push him, but and all the stuff that why Ronnie kind
That's
of
mental warfare.
well yeah all the now
It's
today
part of the game. I
Ronnie's
mean-
real close to me now, but back then we had a struggle here here in the gym, and Ronnie didn't understand what I was doing was to helping him for the future.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And a lot of the guys, when I was telling you, I'm helping you guys for the future. And thank God Ronnie's still doing it as pro-wise. But, every fight that, I was able to help him grow.
Try to build them.
And, and he's still growing as a man. I'm proud of the man that he is now today. I really am. You know what I'm saying? He's getting better. And everybody with baby steps, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got certain things, but he's getting better as a man. And shave the mustache, Ronnie, please.
What do you think is the best way if you're gonna build someone from scratch? Someone comes in and they're like, "Hey, man, I want to be the best boxer I can be." What would you start with them first? What would you think? Hey, this is what we need to start. And he knows nothing. He's like, you know what? I like boxing, but I don't know any boxing. And can you train me from scratch? What would you do? What would you the first thing you say this guy's got to work on?
And we're teaching what, boxing, or we're teaching
boxing.
MMA? Okay. One thing. You know what? That's because a lot of people have different opinions.
Yeah. But that's what I'm asking your opinion.
A lot of people would say footwork first.
Yeah.
Footwork first. And honestly, like, footwork is the hardest thing to teach.
sure. Yeah.
Traditional footwork is the hardest thing. No, I would teach, because you know what? With anybody, you got to get them into it.
Yeah.
You teach them how to punch.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, teach them how to punch.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teach them how to punch. And then once you teach them how to punch, then because everybody wants to smash something, smash.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
once they learn how to smash something, then you can, and you got their attention. And if they don't like to smash something, then you're gonna lose them in the beginning. And then
They're gonna
boom,
be bored.
Yeah. So let's do this now, because did I say footwork will lose them in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We'll totally. That's why in classes I won't teach it unless people be like, hey, what about footwork? I'm like, okay. Remember, you asked for footwork. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And literally is a hard. You know, it's like
Footwork-
chewing gum and walking. For some people, it's hard to do.
Yeah, it is the thing that I wanted to learn the most when I tried to box was footwork, and I don't feel like I ever got a great grasp of it. I'm too heavy-footed, and that's from years of grappling because I'm on my flat-footed, you know, and you don't want to be flat-footed when you're striking. Like it's better to be in the balls of your feet and pivot.
Well, it depends on what style you are.
Step and pivot and stuff. Yeah.
If you're like a Mexican style fighter,
Yeah.
then flat foot is okay.
Yeah.
Then let me just come forward, stay right in front of
Yeah.
you.
I would say I am a Mexican style, but not wanting to be a Mexican
No,
style.
no, you don't want to be. But
And it's not. It's not what I
what your body chooses.
what I think is best. I think it's just my body's
Yeah,
like,
you-
well, this is what
Yeah,
you are,
the
buddy.
body chooses.
You can take beatings.
Dude, remember
Go
this?
forward.
I remember your first fight. You had 2 fighs for Bad Boy,
Bad Boy,
for your
yeah.
boxing.
Yeah.
We made it to the second fight, but that what was the second? Was the guy with the tattoos the second fight? Was that the first fight?
The first one, I think.
Because you got 2 studs, bro.
They were
you got
big
2
dudes.
No.
I-
You got 2 studs, 2 young studs.
I walked in line. I remember in line.
I was like, poor bad luck for you, buddy.
I remember in line, and he was like, I was like, yeah, I'm doing 184 or whatever. And he was like, me too. And I was like,
You
are?
like,
All right.
And then
Cool.
then,
And they were young too. I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
can lose weight like that too. They can lose weight just by taking a shit and eating, and then
Dude.
boom, back.
dude, I
I did that for the Oklahoma Tough Man. I went out with Chad. I drove all the way out. Me and Chad Doctor went all the way out to Tough Man, and this is one of the great experiences of my life. Tough Man. They don't have Tough Man no more.
yeah.
You heard about Tough Man, right?
no, yeah.
And this was in
Keith
Bad.
Jardine was from
Was he?
Tough Man.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not know that.
He fought UFC. He was a UFC champion, and then he left or whatever and did acting and stuff because he had a weird look to him. You know, he's goofy looking.
I'm gonna look him up.
Keith Jardine,
Yeah.
but he was I'm pretty sure he was a Tough Man champion.
Dennis Quaid made a movie about Tough Man. So when I'm from the Midwest and from Wichita and Oklahoma area and stuff like that, Tough Man was the thing. Tommy Morrison was a tough man. At 15 years old, he was a tough man. He lied about his age and fought big
Grown men,
Grown
yeah.
men, and then Mr. T was Butterbean was a tough man.
man, yeah.
All these these are all legends from Midwest where I'm from. So I was like, this Bad Boy. I was a Bad Boy champion. My first Bad Boy tournament, I fought the 4-time at the time. He's a 6-time champion now. The 4-time champion Ricardo Marquez. He was my all-time nemesis. We were supposed to fight 3 times. He fought twice. He won 1. I won 1. But my first Bad Boy tournament, I fought him and beat him.
He's a big guy too.
Dude, did you see him? He's a monster. He's a bodybuilder now. But
Oh, really?
he was able to. That was the thing about him. He was able to cut weight and beat 160, and then boom, blow him up to 200. I had to deal with that, so that's why I was me
I don't
as
think
a
I cut any weight
fighter.
when I did that Bad Boy. I didn't.
No,
think
no,
I-
you didn't. No, you
I didn't
didn't.
even cut weight.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna be whatever.
I never did
drink water.
for Bad Boy either. I was always under. I was 159 or something, or 155 weight division, and that's why I was able always to fight big guys. Like I remember one of my last boxing matches. You've never seen it, but it's on YouTube. I wish you watch it. It's against the Native American guy,
So you could,
Jimmy Whitebody.
yeah.
Knocked him out,
Knocked him
dude.
out, yeah.
Knocked him out. Like it happened one round. Too bad we didn't have commentary. If you've seen it, man, it's Jimmy was a UCFC MMA champion, and this was right around the Conor McGregor time. And I was like, all right, man, because I'm a legend of the UCFC. They say I'm they say I'm a legend. I'm not, but I fought the UCFCs a lot, and I fought legendary stuff. So I said, I'm gonna do it big since I'm retiring. I'm in one of my last boxing matches. I'm gonna fight
Big dude.
a big dude. And Jimmy was 207 pounds. He was a big Native American boy, And respect to Jimmy, you know what I'm saying? Dude almost knocked me out. I'll tell you, I was almost knocked out 2 times, man. And Jimmy was one of the times. And if you watch that, it's like Kill Bill. You know what I'm saying? He knocked me into the corner, and I was counting, boom, and I was out of it, boom, boom. I was counting. I hit him with a 3-2, boom, and he got hit and stumbled, boom, boom, fell down. And I was like, the round's over. He didn't get up. He's like, oh, I won. So I got 2 belts out of that. And the second time, now since we're going back to Tough Man, was the all-time favorite time of my life. Second time that I got knocked out.
You got knocked out? Or you knocked somebody else out?
Well, I knocked somebody else out, but
Yeah.
Jimmy technically knocked me out on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Yeah.
out the 2 times, but the time I was really like knocked out. Well, you know, I told you I was going to Oklahoma, and when I went to Oklahoma, drove all the way down there with Chad. It was a press conference, and what started me talking, I drifted off. But what we're talking about was when I went into the press conference, it was like a big fight press conference. They're matching all the guys up, and Chad was like, that's the dude you're going to fight over there. And I'm like, Chad, shut up, dude. I said, he's kind of bugging me 'cause I'm nervous and stuff like that. I'm like, that dude's way too big to be fighting me, dude. Could you just shut up, please? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting there, just sitting there, and boom, boom, boom. And they're like calling the fighters up, and Tommy Martin, Tommy Duke Martin, come on. I'm in my, at the time, my girlfriend Ashley bought me these badass underwears. I look like a WWE wrestler. Took a picture of him, it's like that. And they're like, I remember they said, Ted Mullinex. This guy comes out, and it's this dude that Chad's talking about, dude. This dude is huge. Huge. Like, he had a little waist. But I'm talking upper body, like huge. Now I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, man, really? Like, I'm like, this guy's big. And he was younger. And when we went up, I had to, like, to face off to each other. I turned it on. I went from...
Yeah. Stone cold.
Boom. He was like, all right. And he was like, all right. So this is a story I want to tell, man, because this is a good story. So I went out to Oklahoma. Did I say it was the whole day was an experience because it was a 2-day event, 3 fights in 2 days, and 1 fight in one night, 2 fights on the next night. My first night was that guy Ted, and I came out and. Chad was supposed to work my corner. He trained to be in my corner, but they wouldn't let him. So one of the people they had a Tough Man was going to work my corner. So I was backstage by myself, and Chad came for a little bit. I had a friend, Ed, that lived there. I used his address so I can compete. And I fought the guy Ted, and I whooped his ass. I could have knocked him out, but I kind of like was save face. I didn't want to.
Some people they look the part, but they ain't the part. Like,
oh yeah,
some of the scariest people I've ever sparred or fought they didn't look scary. Like, they didn't look like they were monsters. And I fought monsters that were like puppy dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is like beating a puppy. Like, this is like slapping a puppy.
Exactly.
And but your mind, can play with you a little bit. I had a guy here that trained with me. I won't say his name, but I have bags, here, and he was here for jiu-jitsu, but he started hitting these bags, bah, 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 and he trained at a Thai gym. I think it was Lions Den, when Lions Den used to be here years ago. And I was like, oh, man, you want to spar? Because, I like to fight back then. I was like, you want to just spar? He's like, yeah, I'll spar. And he couldn't take a hit. Some guys can't get hit. Like, they can look nice on a bag, and they can hit hard. Or I don't even know if he could hit hard. It looked like he was hit hard on the bag. The bag was caving. He was moving, And then when I started hitting him, and I don't think I hit hard, he was just like, hiding his face. Like some guys, they just can't take.
yeah.
He can't take beatings. But you look at him, you're like, and he was jacked. He was a young guy, he was fucking jacked. And I was like, but you're. I wanted to say, but you're a pussy. Like, you don't look like it, but like. You are. Like, for me, I used to like fighting my ego, used to like fighting the biggest dudes. Like, I wanted to make it was just building my own.
You got more points.
I was just like, I want to fight the bigger you are. The bigger you are, the tougher you are, the better. And but then I started learning, like, they didn't mean nothing, because some of the guys I fought that were actual monsters looked like nothing, and they would they're scary. You
And
know,
smaller
like
guys are
in
a lot to handle.
in jiu-jitsu, like I'm under Kyle Terra. If you look, no offense to Kyle, but like Kyle looks, even to this day, he's in his 30s. He looks like a boy. You know, like he
No, remember I told you
he will murder me.
No,
or he does murder me.
I met him. I met him one night. I was here.
And he's so nice and
I was
friendly.
staying at the gym. Thank you very much. I was staying at the gym. I was for a little bit. I was out of house, and Mike let me stay on the mats for a while. And I met Kyle one night. They coming in, and I told you, you can look at him. He's got a boyish look to him, but I told you he had a presence about him. He has a like Yoda.
He's confident. Like he has a confidence to him.
No,
for sure.
No, I wouldn't even say confidence. Like it wasn't a from a fighter standpoint. He doesn't put off the standpoint that he's a fighter. He doesn't put off the standpoint. You know, I know word you. He didn't put off that he was. You know what I'm saying? He just had this serene something about him, like a Buddhist kind of.
Yeah.
You know, I can't describe what it is. It's not a fighter, it's not but it was like there was an aura about it. I know it's kind of like
you're a fighter.
You know,
like I feel like sometimes when you're like a fighter, you can see.
You see some.
Oh, that guy you don't want to mess with. Where like a regular Joe Schmo out there doesn't. He just sees the big buff guy or the strong looking mean guy, but certain guys you can go, oh no, he don't.
Vision.
Have
that
it.
vision.
He don't have it in his eyes. Like I can see it in his eyes. Like he hides his eyes. You know, and other guys are like, oh no, that guy will
fuck you up.
That guy will fuck you up. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did, and I did say I met him, and I felt his presence, man. He did have, and you know what I'm saying, was the guy was. He looks like a handful.
There's a guy UFC that he does. I don't know if he's still doing announcing. Kenny Florian.
Yeah,
but Kenny Florian looked like an accountant. Like he looked like he was
the haircut.
He was your manager or something like that. He is not the fighter, but that dude was vicious. He was good at everything. He had good striking, good ground game, good wrestling. Everything was good, and he's not fighting anymore. But like, if you didn't know fighting, you wouldn't go, "Oh, that's a fighter." No, you didn't look the part.
Those are the guys you have to worry about.
I don't even think he even had tattoos. You know, so like he was even less. Like intimidating. Sometimes people get freaked out by tattoos,
and that's why I got tattoos. Yeah.
To make yourself look.
To make myself look, because I'm a nice guy. You know, I'm a nice guy. I'm not. You know, and you know what? And the truth.
Trevor Brown's is not a.
Not. Yeah, Trevor. It's not a.
It's not a weak place.
It's not a place
to be a weak person.
Yeah. There was not a lot of white kids there, so the gold teeth and tattoos explains a lot. You know. Well, what was I telling you? Speaking of that, was that second fight that I had after Ted Molmax for Tough Man was a guy that didn't look like a fighter. He had blue contacts in. His name was Ivan Avila. Man, stupid ass Chad. Okay, you know Chad, Doctor.
Yeah, I know
stupid ass Chad. So the first fight, right? I'm in there. Chad buddy with some people that had a friend of theirs fighting, and Chad was like telling them about my background and stuff like that. And the dude happened to be in my weight class. You know what I'm saying? They're still talking. So, we're going. And the next guy I was supposed to be fighting, guess who it was going to be?
That guy. Yeah.
He pulled out of the fights for the next night because Chad told him, he had this many, I had this many fights and all this stuff. Freaked the guy out. They brought Ivan Avila in down from the light heavyweight division, a shorter guy. He just barely made it over the middleweight limit. So they brought, I think he was like in 173.
Yeah.
Just, Ivan came in, didn't look like a fighter at all. Blue contacts came in. That dude gave me the hardest fucking fight. The second fight was the hardest fight.
But you won that one too, though, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. But this was the fight that I'm going to tell you right now, in my whole entire 150 fights, I was out. I was knocked out.
Outstanding.
I was out. So the dude, in the second round, if you watch it on the YouTube, he hit me with an overhand right. Anytime, the Mayweather style that I fight, anybody besides the overhand right is the punch we have to watch out for with the shell. He hit me with it. I walked right. Dumbass me, I walked right into. If you looked at the fight, I walked right into it. Boom, got hit with it. Stumbled back.
Yeah.
I was out. The light was gone. I don't remember after that. I watched it over and over again. I was out.
Sometimes dudes can be out, but they're like robots. Like they just keep going. Like their hands still go,
Yeah.
their feet still go, and the refs don't. Like, well, technically he's not on the ground.
Yeah. And that's what happened to me. I wasn't on the ground. So what the dumbass stuff was I did, what I was taught, my backgrounds, Ricky Ricardo, Madison Square boxing nights here in town. I was taught
South
the
Phoenix?
North, is that, well, Cape Creek. I was taught by him and his dad, and he was one of my mentors. The Mexican style fighting, walking forward.
Walking forward.
So when I got hit with that shot, I was trained from as a kid to walk forward. So I walked forward. I was out. I did not. My hands were completely down. I was out. Okay. This dude went off and hit me with that same fucking punch, the same punch, and woke me right back. I was back in the game.
I woke you
And
back up.
you can see it. You can see it in the fight. You can see, boom. Once he hits me, my hands are down, and then I just walk right forward to him. Walk right to him. Boom. Hits me again. Boom. Hands are back up. Back in the game. I'm back in the game. Boom. 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 And I won that fight by split decision. It was a tough fight. It was a tough fight. It was tough. Then my last fight was on that night too. I was fighting the other guy in the bracket, Felipe Castillo. And he knocked out everybody. He was a young 19-year-old kid, and I'm friends with him on Facebook today. And
And you won that fight?
yeah, I won that fight. I broke it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was the most scared for that fight. I remember having these like dog tags, and this was the story why I was so scared is because it was the finals. I was fighting a young kid. I was 34 at the time. The guy ahead of me that was fighting the light heavyweight division, fighting for maybe it was a heavyweight or whatever. He was just a blonde guy. He was a professional baseball player. And that night he fought his championship fight before me. And that night, God rest his soul, he died in the ring. This is a true story, man. This is a true story.
Yeah, like a stroke? Or
No.
embolism?
No,
Brain embolism?
The story that I read, because I wasn't from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
The story that I read that he got hit with a baseball and had a concussion before he fought
Oh.
and kind of kept it quiet.
Mm.
But his first fight, he went in there, boom, 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 and he talked to me. Mike, this is a true story. He talked to me, but I was so, this is a deep kind of a demon kind of thing. I was so wrapped up in my own bullshit, scared.
Yeah.
I'm not in Phoenix. I'm fighting in somewhere. This guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, can I ask you a question?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro. What's going on?" I'm scared. I'm Chad's not back there with me. I'm by myself.
He's talking it up.
And this guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey man, is it normal to see a white light, a flash?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, when you get hit in the ring, some of us fighters call it riding the white lightning. It's like a flash." And he goes, "What about now?"
Is that good?
And I'm dead. Looking at me, I'm dead serious. He looked at me right about now. I'm like, "Yeah, no, man, you need to see the doctor, man." I told him, that's not good. You need to see the doctor. And next thing you know, Chad comes back around, and then we're talking, and I'm getting a drink, and Chad's warming me up, and because I'm getting ready to go on. Next thing you know, he goes in, and as demons now, because maybe I could have done something if I would
Well, if you
have.
told him to go to the doctor, what else are you gonna do?
But maybe I should have done something, but I was so wrapped up and scared what I was doing, And that guy went into the ring, and that guy he died in the ring. He died in the ring, and stopped the event for 32 minutes. And you guess who had to fight next?
You fought after he died?
Yes.
Hey.
They still had the event. They took him out. They didn't tell the crowd that he died there. They took him on the string. I read the article afterwards. He died in the ring. They took
Put him on the
stretcher.
stretcher. No one knew that
Finished
he was
it. They
dead.
had 3 fights left. They had my fight. The way I don't know how they did it. They should have done the
That's
lightweight
crazy
championship.
It's crazy that they didn't stop at all. Like,
OKC
they just said, "Hey."
Farmers Market in Oklahoma. Well, see after that that fight, it was banned. There's no Oklahoma. That's why you don't see Tough Man no more. It was banned in Oklahoma
okay.
after that. And now in Arizona, it was, remember when that firefighter, it was banned for a while and
Yeah.
stuff like that. but they didn't have it in Oklahoma no more, and they banned it in a lot of states. You couldn't do it no more. So I was like, I am the last official Oklahoma Tough Man champion, and that guy died that night, and they stopped the whole the event still went on. There was 3 fights left to go, and I remember I had these dog tags of my kids, and I was just like, I just want to see my kids one last time. Things you think of when you're there.
When it's funny. I think when I boxed, I was more afraid doing Bad Boy than I did the 2 MMA fights I had. And the first time
bigger event. Bigger events.
The first MMA fight was way worse because I already had a broken rib, and I told Joe Moreira, and he was basically had to do this fight to get a black belt. He was like, look, normally we do the fight, we do a gauntlet for you.
And this was the one out there?
In California.
Oh,
I went to California. And he's like, you have 2 weeks to prepare for the fight. And I remember my ribs were broken, and I was doing Epsom salt baths to try to get it feel better. And I told him, Joe, I don't want to make you look bad, but if he hits me in the ribs, I'm going to hide it. But if he hits me, I'm going to go down. I don't think I can walk through that, because they're broke. I just think I won't even be able to. I think my body will shut down, and just drop me. And then I saw Marcos Hua, who was a UFC champion too. He was there watching too. So I had these famous guys watching
me.
You
had to
but I wasn't even. That wasn't. I wanted my black belt so bad. I was like, I'll chew glass. You want me to go kill a guy?
Exactly.
Okay. You want me to go fight a grizzly bear? Sure, no problem.
Give me my black belt.
And then the second one, I don't know why I was confident, and then that guy hit me 40,000 times in the face, and I just. My jiu-jitsu instincts just took over.
Yeah.
I've just done it so many times, it just took over. So I wasn't as afraid. But when I did the boxing match, I think it was
was in your world.
it wasn't my world. Maybe that's what it was. It was I'm not really supposed to be here. I did it because I wanted to test myself. Can I do this? I didn't want to show that I'm the best. I just want to say I can hang. I can hang. And I remember going, what the fuck did I just sign up for? Not until I was standing in line and I was standing next to the guy I looked up at him, and he was freaking huge. And I was like, why did I think this was a good idea? I remember being.
No, but you know what? Because
I was like, this is stupid. I was training pretty hard, but I didn't run at all. So I didn't know if the cardio was good. I felt like I could hang, and I knew what I was supposed to be doing, and I thought I could hear you guys pretty good. But I knew this isn't my world. This is those guys' world, and I'm walking into their world, and I was scared. That made me scared, That makes sense.
This is the moment I'm gonna tell you. This is the Yoda moment, and that's why you did not succeed.
Because I was scared.
Because you weren't confident in. You know what I'm saying? That your world. You weren't confident in it wasn't your world.
It was funny because I watched the fight, and I thought the first match I won, I beat the guy.
Yeah.
The second guy, I thought I didn't do very good, and I watched it.
Fight.
It was a closer fight.
It was a closer fight.
Yeah, it was way closer fight.
That's why you weren't happy with it, because it was a closer fight with a stud that was a lot bigger than you.
Yeah.
And I felt that you won. I felt you won, but just getting.
I don't know. Maybe, but in my mind after the fight, I thought I didn't do as good. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, I did pretty good." I was boxing here. I was at least boxing. I wasn't throwing crazy haymakers and just. I don't know. You've seen fights like this. It wasn't like that. I was throwing straight shots. I was throwing combinations.
You were boxing.
I was using defense
for a tough man contest. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it is.
I was boxing. But that one was I was more afraid of that.
Were you the only one on the team fighting that night?
I think so. Yeah.
I remember what you were thinking because at the time, I started 2012 here. 2011, I think like
Maybe.
that.
I don't know.
But what it is was we had at one time we had a badass fight team here.
Yeah, we had a good team.
because we had Ronnie, we had Riley, we had Jaron Sato, we had Casey Chris,
Casey, yep.
we had we just had a lot of people. We had Matt Villalobos, we had Nick DePalma,
Mm-hmm.
we had even all the youngsters, and I can't name all their names. I'm sorry,
Brennan.
guys. Yeah, but we had all these guys. We had tons of these guys. We had a nice fight team, and
Brennan's another one that you look at him, you're like, he's kind of pudgy, but that fool has dynamite in his
oh
hands.
no, do you remember that knockout?
when he knocked out that other kid?
Hell yeah, that was a good.
Yeah,
I fought on that
but
card,
he,
didn't I?
he fought out. He knocked out an adult, and I remember when we went in there, Brandon's pudgy. I think he was 15 at the time. I don't know how we got to allow him to fight an 18-year-old. But the other guy was 18, and he was jacked.
We got it agreed.
And you could see everyone in the audience. You could tell they were like, "Oh, this guy's gonna get his ass kicked."
Yep, and then boom.
And Brendan just knocked the fool out
Out.
like a movie,
Sleepy.
like the shitty movies where like you hit him and the dude off his feet knocked
Mm.
him out. Like some guys get knocked out and they like drop a little bit, but he hit that dude and he went off his feet. He literally knocked that dude off his feet. That was one of the coolest knockouts
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
That was a fun night. That was a fun.
was a good night.
That was that the night at Arizona when I fought,
It was
or was that?
off that Mesa. When Mesa, what was the one off?
Yeah,
of
at
Mesa?
the Arizona Event Center.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
I just don't know if that was one of the nights I fought, because we did that a couple
Maybe.
times.
Maybe I don't.
But I remember the night we fought. Vincent. Remember Vincent? That's what that kid's name was. The little Mexican kid, Vincent. Remember the night I fought. Roddy fought the Cowboy. Boxed the Cowboy. And Vincent fought. Brendan fought. A lot of people fought, and that was a good night, man. We at the fight team we had here at one time was a very proud. I had a very proud moment. We got a lot of titles. We got a lot of championships. That's what you were thinking, because I had all these guys. That was kind of their thing that I wanted them to do before they went on to do MMA. I wanted them to do a bad boy. You had to do a bad boy to move on
Yeah.
to do MMA. And Sato won one. You know, Riley was the all-time.
I liked fighting. I liked coaching. I know I'm good at coaching, but it's good. It's one thing when you could say I at least have done it, so I know what it's.
Oh, you have to. You have
like,
to. Because there's a lot of
you know-
people out there that teach that have never
Yeah.
been punched in the face,
Yeah.
and that, that's hard. And yes, there are some people that can do it, like Joe Calzaghe's father. I don't know if you know who that is. Joe Calzaghe's a famous English fighter, 46-0, retired. Beat Bernard Hopkins, beat Roy Jones. He's known as not a knockout puncher, fast puncher, southpaw, speed, boom, 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 boom. Dad told him how to fight. His dad was a musician. Read how to do stuff boxing from a book.
That's crazy.
So, but my opinion in my heart is like you really can't teach something unless you've been in the dirt.
I want people to know, like, I'm asking you to do something that I've done. Like, I'm not asking you something that I wouldn't have done, or I wouldn't have done myself if I was in your spot. And like, competing allowed me to go. At least I've been there. I've been hit. I've been kicked. I've been kneed. I've been elbowed.
Been hit
I've been
load.
choked. I've been taken down. I've all of those things. Like I know what it feels like. I know the nerves too. I know all that. And yeah, I guess that was kind of what it is. And then I just wanted something different too when I did the boxing thing. I just wanted to
That's
get out of my comfort zone every once in a while. I like to do
being a
something
mixed
different.
martial artist. That's
Yeah.
what you want. Hey, hold on one second. I'm gonna go grab that soda real quick.
Okay.
So it's over there in the.
Just don't bring it over here. Just drink it over there. Because I don't know if I'm allowed to have.
I've been drinking this one for the last.
Oh, oops. All right. Well, cool.
I've been drinking that one the whole time. And he was like, I don't know. I was like, yeah, you got that one right there.
I forgot.
Representing, we're just representing,
Um.
All right, there we go. Yeah, you were just being a mixed martial artist. That's what you're
Yeah.
just trying, and doing all the other stuff because we made some of these other guys do some amazing stuff. Like Jaron used to he was one of my students that was the closest to fight like me. Like if you've seen him, he looked like a younger version of me.
I remember you taught him one of the MMA fights that we did, we just taught him taught him very simple 1 2 2.
No.
1 2 back 2.
Or was it bread and butter? Jab, jab, right hand. I think that's
No. It was 2. It was like a pause and another 2.
Because
he knocked that dude out
Oh,
in
the
like
MMA
8
fight,
seconds.
the King of the Cage fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he called me that
He
night.
knocked it out like in
He called me that night
10 seconds.
and said it was the bread and butter. If I remember right, he said it was jab, jab, boom.
jab, jab,
Yeah,
cross.
it was the first
Okay.
combination I ever
Jab,
taught
jab,
him.
cross.
Yeah, and so it was bread and butter. I think that's what you're talking about.
Okay, it was
Because-
bread and butter. I thought it was
he
a
called
1
me
2
that night.
pause 2,
'Cause
but
we had issues. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. I didn't go to that fight, and he called me out that night and said, "Hey man, I just want you to know I won the fight." And
well, it was you the combination. I know it was your combination that he used.
that's what he told me. He was like, "It was your combination."
It was your
I was
combination.
like, "Awesome, man!" And I was like, "That was beautiful." And I really liked working with Jaron. He was actually a real fun one to work with.
I wish he continued.
He was
to
very talented
train.
too.
He was a very talented guy.
But you know what happened though? What deferred him was he broke his ankle skateboarding.
Nah, it was after he left already.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It was more
Because I like training him.
life stuff. I don't want to get into his life.
Yeah.
It's his. I can't tell his story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
he got his own story.
yeah.
Sorry,
so,
Jay.
So just I don't understand. Life gets in our way sometimes. I always tell people like I made martial arts my life, so that life never gets in my way. Like this is my life. Like many people quit jiu-jitsu or striking or MMA or whatever because like a life event happens and they have to take care of it. And I totally get that. But I decided that jiu-jitsu was so important to me that it was going to be my life. And anything that's going to be in my life revolves around jiu-jitsu. So even like my kids, I bring them jiu-jitsu. Like it's a part of the family. Like this is part of what you're going to be doing, man. Like you could have a different career. You don't have to do nothing in this. Like you don't have to run my school. You don't have to teach, but you're going to be a part of jiu-jitsu. You're going to learn jiu-jitsu. It's the way it is, but that's part of my life. Like jiu-jitsu is my life, and I love my kids, and I will leave jiu-jitsu to do stuff for my kids, but I've tried to make my life jiu-jitsu so that less things can interview. Most of my friends are in jiu-jitsu anymore too. I only have like a few friends that I don't talk to as much, that don't do in the fight game or whatever, because it was more important to me. Like it gave more to me in my life. I got more value in my life from this than the outside influences in my life. So it was so important to me. I never wanted to have the outside stuff. And I'm also fortunate that my wife and then girlfriend was always just like supportive of like, oh, you have to do jiu-jitsu. Okay, go to jiu-jitsu.
That's
like,
rare.
It's super rare. So I'm saying all this stuff, but also I've lucked out that my wife is the way that she is. Like she doesn't get jealous of my time, Not that she doesn't want me around.
Business to run though too. And
Yeah.
And your head household.
Yeah, there's that too. But there's a lot of women that don't understand that either.
No, you're right. That's why I'm 45 and single.
Yeah, they don't always understand that. Even though they like the things that they get from it, it doesn't mean that they like the thing that creates the money or whatever.
Did you see his face when he said
Yeah.
that? Like the
It's just,
thing.
but
like you didn't know what thing it was. But
no. It is this thing, but I'm saying like people's lives. Like, say you're a photographer, like, and you produce you make a lot of money, and your wife has nice things or whatever, but that doesn't mean that she likes photography, like, or even that you take your time away and you gotta go fly to Florida to do a photo shoot or whatever, like that's time away from her.
Right.
She likes what you get out of photography, but it also takes her time away. And it's I don't know, all that stuff's life balance stuff, but like I get it. Some people, I'm just saying I make this so much a part of my life that it's hard to separate it, and I try to bring my family into this versus like they're on the outside or whatever.
I like that.
I try the best I can, because
at
my
least you
wife doesn't
try.
do jiu-jitsu. She was doing striking. I was teaching striking. I had a morning class, like a late morning class, and she did that. She actually liked it a lot. I'm trying to get her to do your class at night, but it's just like hard time because she makes dinner for the boys at night, and maybe I'll get her in the new year. We'll see.
No, you know what?
She liked it.
Well,
She's built a strike.
What you need
She's
to do is
long.
get her a personal session with me, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Get her into motion. You know what I'm saying, and I let her know how it's what it's
Maybe
like.
I should send
'Cause
her
some people,
Sundays.
Some people are just scared of.
With
They have
other people,
They have something already planted in their
Yeah.
mind. They're like, oh.
Yeah.
Because once people work with me, then they're like, oh, okay, this guy's just
Yeah.
a silly fool.
No, I don't think it's you. I think it's just the time of day that.
No, I'm saying me as I'm saying I'm a silly fool, and then they know that, okay, because some you look at me on the outside, you look at as like, you know, I know as you're saying this time of day, but some people look at me and they're like, guy doesn't, I don't know, he looks like he's like an asshole. I don't want to train with him. When I'm really the silliest, stupidest guy, you know, I'll make you cluck in my class.
Hey, you're fun. Your class is fun.
Yeah.
Get after, but it's fun. It's not all. It's not
Well,
all like hard.
I try to do
balanced.
do different things, and then when we have I love slow days. I love slow days because then slow days, a lot of the students, you know, like when we got 4 students and then they get personal mid time. It's like their own personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They love it. You know what I'm saying? They don't do all the other.
People pay for mitts.
They don't get to do all the other foolish stuff that I teach them to do. They get personal mitt time, and they love it. And I honestly, because I love doing mitts with people. It's,
Yeah, you're
you know
really
what
good
I'm
at mitts.
saying? I consider it like dancing. You know,
Yeah, it's rhythm.
I'm
You
dancing.
got good
with
rhythm.
somebody. And when you find a good partner like Kira lately, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Kira, like I've grown fond to Kira. You know, I have this like this thing, and you know it, just like Haley, like, you know what I'm saying, like all
got
my
daughters too. You
yeah,
got
my
daughters, you know?
and I you know, I love my
Yeah.
oldest daughter's my best friend. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I see these girls and I see them, you know, doing this because my daughters never did this stuff, and then I see these girls. And I was telling her, Kira, I was like, you know, I look at her as a daughter.
Yeah.
And I even told her the other day, I was like, you know, I have to tell you this because I'm getting closer to her, and I have to tell you this. I said, if I ever touch you inappropriately, let me know. You know, because
Yeah, if you hit her,
something like that. You know,
yeah.
she's like, Coach. She says, Coach. She says, please don't ever treat me like a boy.
Yeah.
She's like you. I can never see you
She's pretty tough.
ever disrespecting me. I'm like, I know, but I have to have this conversation with you as a
no,
coach.
It's a good conversation just to be as a coach.
Coach wise, because
to
you
do
know,
that,
what if
yeah.
because there's going to be a time where we're doing mitts and I'm going to hit you in the breast by accident. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's just normal.
It's normal, or you know, something like this. So I want to, you know,
It's good to have the conversation because even if you don't do something that intentionally and something happens like that, like you brush against someone or something, we've had the conversation, then she at least feels comfortable like, hey, you hit me, you know, like she could say something and doesn't feel like she can't say something. And then you can go, oh, sorry, that was an accident. And she goes, oh, and then she'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I thought so, but I wanted to bring it up. It's good to have those conversations, and also to know that, like, sometimes you see something a certain way does not mean someone else sees it the same way. It's like a different viewpoint or angle. And so when you talk that way, it's good. I like Kira because she's a hard worker. She'll do whatever I ask her to do. She never
and she's
complains.
respectful.
She's
I love
super
it.
respectful.
Yes, Coach.
And sometimes those karate kids, I don't really like karate, but that's why they're
brought up well.
they're brought up good, respectful. They never complain. You go,
So her karate
I would
background?
I would go, you know, someone like that would go, 100 push-ups. They're like, okay. They just drop and start doing 100 push-ups. There's
'Cause I
not
remember
like,
Haley had a karate background too.
yeah, it's that discipline. They're just disciplined. And even, you know, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, but it's not in jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is like way more laid back with rules, you know. They're way more strict, you know, but it also leads them to like have way more respect for their coaches. You know, as long as you're a good coach, that helps a lot because you know they're going to do the things that you ask them to do. Like, how many people have you told to do road work and they don't do the road work?
They can't even do a clucking half the
Yeah.
time.
You know, so like I like her because she's just she's willing to work. You know, I don't know how many people I know that just aren't willing to work
With a good attitude.
with a good
with a
attitude.
good attitude.
100%
I-
with
as I
a good
said,
attitude.
I'm growing very fond of her as a daughter. That's why I had to have
And
the
she's good
conversation.
at striking.
Yeah, she's very good, and she likes to test me, and I like this because she was taught in a Muay Thai background. So now I'm teaching her the shoulder roll in the elusive style, and she's like, well, I can't get to this. I'm like, because you're used to being stationary
She's more
and
rigid,
taking
yeah.
shots. We're not a stupid person stands right in front of you to
Yeah,
take
I agree.
shots. And she's like, oh, and then she's figuring out. She goes, okay, I understand it, and I can see her confusion, and then converts it. But like did I say is these type of students like her, Kira, and Haley, and all these other ones that they find a special place in my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like I would never let someone hurt someone like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all my students are like that. This, like, I have a big, you know, a big thing with every one of my students that I get different kind of relationship with each one of my students. You know what I'm saying? Either from son to daughter, you know, like sons or daughters. Most of them are sons or daughters, or comes to friends. You know,
Yeah.
and I love that kind of. Some, you know. Had a couple, you know, bad ones, but not very few. Than more good
Yeah.
than few.
Yeah.
Like I remember one of my one of my very fondest memories happened here. Most of my fondest memories has happened at this school.
Oh, that's cool.
By far. I always said this because but you, as you know, I went over to the other school, and I went over to the other school, you know, and I want to talk about this because this is something I just want to talk about with you, not to harsh things up or with the other school, but it's something I want to just talk about is when I started teaching at both schools at the time. It was Grace Fighting Systems, and you had no problem. You had no problem with me teaching at both schools and doing everything, and this is how I see it. Okay, like I went over there because they had a lot more fighters than we did, and we had a great fight team, and I wanted to make our fight team better.
Yeah, they had
A ring,
they had
a
open
cage, and stuff.
but
like
they
that.
also had open sparring
but
sessions.
yes.
And you brought guys over there to spar, and I had no problem with that because I think open mats and sparring is good. Even jiu-jitsu too. I'll tell all my students, if you go to open mats, go to other schools. I don't have a problem with it. It's classes that I have the problem with because that's when I, like, especially jiu-jitsu, I'll teach certain things. I don't want other gyms to know the things that I teach. Open mats, I don't care. You can go over there, you train with them, you roll with them, you whatever, you know, it's like good sparring, you know, like this is good. And it's just good to know other martial arts in a positive way and not like have a beef with people, you know, like I've never had a problem.
As
that.
you say with your classes, and I didn't understand that before. I didn't understand it before.
Yeah.
But now I understand is as they say, there's an old saying even in boxing is styles make fights.
Yeah.
Well, when you're teaching, not only you don't want them to learn what the stuff you're teaching, but your style is your style.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a different style than somebody else's.
Yep.
So styles clash when you teach
sure.
them styles. So this is something I learned in my boxing teaching, and I tell everybody when you're going over there, you know, it was like when you fought Carlos. When you go trained by Carlos, you fought those bad boys. I remember in the corner, Carlos was telling you to go one way. I was telling you to go the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's different.
I had
It's just
two coaches.
Yeah, it's different
that were
styles.
a little different.
Yeah, they're
you know,
just different
yeah.
styles, and nothing's wrong. It's just the opinion of the coach and what the other guy was doing and what
Yeah.
they're seeing.
Yeah.
And now as in MMA,
It just means he would approach it a different way. You would approach it a different way.
yeah, he teaches a different style of
Yeah.
boxing than I do. So I understand this now. So I didn't understand that before. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, now I see why. Me, from my standpoint, I wanted my team better. And then what happened?
Yeah.
What happened was, there was like a little bait in there, kind of thing. You know, I'm being honest. You know, of working with their fighters, and I got like crack. I got addicted. It was addiction. What happened was working those corners, going through those. My career was slowing down, going through those events and weigh-ins, and it didn't matter which team I was going,
You
and
just like to be a part of it.
I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But as you know, it took its toll. It's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little wrinkles on my face.
Yeah.
It literally took its toll on me. All these fighters, all their punches, they took all that stuff, all their yelling, but all this stuff took a toll on me. So you know what I'm saying? So I remember the final moment, because I was teaching at both places, and you were cool with it for a while, and then finally, I think Cody left or something like that, and I didn't want Cody to leave, and it was just kind of it was like the last. And I understood teaching at both. I understood business wise, but it broke my heart. This was always home for me. This was always home for me. It always was. You know what I'm saying? I lived in this sucker, for a month or two. You know what I'm saying? So it was always home. That my fight in 2016, and I say this to everybody in Strong Heart right there, 2016 with Anthony Franco, that night, the big night for us when Ronnie fought and all that stuff. The whole school was there for us. It was like a great night. It was one of the greatest nights I ever had. I've had my own team. I built my own team, TMM. And I used to have big events down at Fort McDowell, and all these people would get together. But on this night, you know what I'm saying, I never felt more loved from somebody, like from a team, from a gym. Like, we were all together. Todd Garish, like that night, I remember. I could hear your voice, Todd. I could hear your voice when I got the guy in trouble. I don't know where you were, Todd. I don't know where you were. You finish him. You finish him now. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I remember hearing Mike's voice in the corner, like, Tommy, you're just darting right in. You have to get the angle. Mike kind of didn't know the game plan I had for that fight. I was in the Gennady Golovkin phase where I just wanted to just Mexican style stand in front of him. We knew he didn't have a lot of power, so I just stood right in front of him. But I remember you using the word, don't just dart in, Tommy. I can hear you. Just don't just dart in, Tommy. Get an angle. But that night was like, as team-wise, everybody that fought, the group of people from just,
I've tried. So when I first started training, I trained at a gym that was full of cops and robbers, and like literally cops and robbers. Todd was a cop at the time, and we had SWAT guys there too. We had like a bunch of cops, but then we also had these crazy like thugs there too, tons of thugs. And everyone there was just wanted to fuck people up. Like, the cops wanted to learn how to fuck people up, and then the bad guy, or whatever you want to call it, the thugs, they just want to fuck people up. And nobody wanted to help anyone out. Like, because if I helped you, then it was like, well, then I can't beat you. That was like their mentality, in my opinion. And it was every man for themselves. It never felt like a team. And Todd will tell you, at one point we had probably the best jiu-jitsu team in the country, in the state, not the country. At the time, we went to Pan Am's and we got like 7 gold medals or something. It was crazy. Like, that's a lot for a small team. And, we were good, but we were good by just being mean as fuck and being hard as hell. Like, and I don't know how many times there was fist fights in the middle of a class. Like, someone thought someone was going harder, and it's not jiu-jitsu now. We're just like, they would just punch each other. Right. And then my coach would he almost encouraged that kind of behavior. Like, he wouldn't break you up. Just figure it out, So I just never felt like it was a great team.
Yeah.
So when I started Strong Heart, I wanted to make sure that I wanted to still be tough. I still wanted to be the grit and the grime, but I wanted us to be supportive of each other. Like, I want you to be better. And if you're better, then you're going to push me to be better. It's a different mentality, a different way of looking at it. Not like, I want to beat Tommy down so I can always beat Tommy down. Well, I don't ever really get better then. I don't have to get better. If you don't get better, I don't have to get. You're not pushing me. I want my gym, everyone pushing each other to be better, so that we're constantly better, and we're supportive of each other. You know, like when I moved, I don't know how many students in the school were the ones that helped me move. Like, and I've moved people.
believe that was me. I did it twice.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what I want though. Like, people to support each other, not just in the gym, outside of the gym. You know, like that's I want the community of this is what's cool. It's cool to be able to fight. You know, like it is like I like the confidence that it gives me that I can hang, but I like the community more,
Yes.
and I like the people that have in my life that have changed their lives for the positive, and I like to think that Strongheart has been a part of people wanting to be better, not just in jiu-jitsu or boxing or striking or whatever, but in their life. They're trying to level up their life and try to be better people, and that's what gets me more excited nowadays than trying to get anyone to become a champion of anything. Like, I want you to be a champion of life.
I like that.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
there's a lot of champions that are terrible human beings. You know, they're not great people. They've committed their life to being good at one thing, and they're very committed and they're very diligent. But that doesn't mean that they have good. They're not good people. Like, I heard a quote once: "To be a great person means you're not a good person."
Oh, I like that.
And that's,
I'm gonna write that one down.
you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Be a great person. Be a good person.
you know, I don't know. I
Well, you know,
want
it's like
want good people. I
It's
want
like
good.
to be a boss. They say you have to be an asshole to be a boss.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
I
a hard
think
one for
Depends
me.
on the job.
It's hard. It's hard. That one's hard
Yeah,
for
it
me.
depends on the job, I think.
Well, you want to? Let's close it down. We're almost at an hour and a half. You have anything you want to share or say, or
You know what? There was something that
private lessons? Hit them up, Tommy.
there was something that we were just talking about. That
Mitts?
Want
Want to bring something up?
Yeah, but,
Like a fight?
No, I can't remember what it was now. Oh man, that's gonna drive me nuts.
I'm glad you're back here. You know, I've always thought you were a good teacher and fun teacher, and those are the two hardest things to do. It's hard to be technical and fun, and that's hard to do both of those things. And I've always thought you were good at both of those things. So I'm happy you're back here teaching again,
I love
and
it.
you know, for however long it lasts, I'm
Well, you
gonna
know,
enjoy it. You know.
I'm back for good. I've learned that training professional fighters is not what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember now I know what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Some of my best memories that I've had here. I want to thank to the people that made it happen. My 40th birthday. You remember it? Over Casey Jones.
Mm-hmm. Casey Jones.
Best. Yeah, and that was a really bad time in my life. That's when I was living here.
Yeah.
A really bad time in my life. Strongheart stepped up, man, and best birthday party ever. I think 70-some people showed up there that night, and the people in fight community, just a lot of the gym showed up there. Of Strongheart, and it was just like my best moment, best birthday party ever. And another great moment was we were talking about moments and personal things. And I wanted to bring this up was Nick DePalma. Nick DePalma walked into these doors. Very overweight guy. Remember that?
Yeah. He's in good shape now.
Oh yeah, stud now. Got a girlfriend. I remember he couldn't get a girl to save his life. Now he got a pretty wife or a pretty girlfriend. I don't know if I don't think he got married yet. Sorry, Nick, if I put you on blast. But I remember
Now he's on the clock.
Yeah, now he's on the clock. Sorry,
She's
Nick.
like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Why am I not married?
Mike said that, Nick, not me.
I've been talking to Nick forever.
I have like it's the you know what the last thing I want to talk about is like the moment, the memories we are here. It's about memories, and I understand that, and it's the little things that remind us about memories. Like we were talking about earlier about smells that will remind us about things or people or something like that. And mementos are about that remind us about things. And Nick, like a lot of my students have you know, and it's not, and I know it's not about personal, about what is it? What is the word I'm looking for? Materialistic things.
Yeah.
And you know what? This
There's
might
sentimental things.
this might hit a note, and I'm looking at you. This might hit a note to somebody, and I hope it does hit a note to somebody. And you know who I'm talking about. It's been over 10 years. It's been an anniversary for ours. And it's not about materialistic things, but it's about the simple things. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, you know, you were like, I was never good at getting things for somebody. I was never good at this thing. And it was a lie. It was a lie. You know what I'm saying? You were good at it. You just didn't choose to do it. And I'm not going to tell your name out, put your name out there, but you're still around. You're still connected to this. We go way back. You could have did more. You could have did more to show respect. You know what I'm saying? I got a student, Nick DePalma, that went to Vegas and got me one of the most special things someone ever got me. Got me a coin of the Mayweather Pacquiao fight because he was there on that night, a poker chip, and it was the memento. It's a small little memento, and I'm gonna get a little emotional about this. What I thought was one of my first and proudest student never reached out, no memento, nothing. You know, and you know, hey, I remember people saying it's not about about materialistic things, but sometimes you have to show. I know I'm rambling on, but you know, it always hurt me in life that you weren't able to show that kind of love, because I showed him that kind of love. I put my hand in my own family, and to this day I still love him. He was one of my very first students, and you know what I'm saying. You know who I'm talking about. And you know, are your
There's
first
many.
You're your first student.
There's many, man.
Yeah, there's many
you know, like
sons.
I don't.
Many sons. There's many sons, and
Yeah,
they all hit you the heart in one way.
Yeah,
But this
yeah.
one was my first one, and my first student, and I just felt that I made him into a star. I went out of state for him.
Yeah.
I did all these things for him, and he just never. He went on, and I let him go on and do his thing, but he never really showed the appreciation like I felt he should have. You know what I'm saying? Like there, you know, small things, just small things, and that's just one thing that I regretted my heart that we never got to make up like we should have. You know, like to this day we don't, you know, we're cordial, but you know we've had so many memories, and to not even talk to this day is just like kills me sometimes.
Yeah. Now I think I know who you're talking about,
Yeah.
and I don't talk to that person either anymore.
Yeah.
He just disappeared.
Because
I try to
he says he's not good at these things. You know, just
yeah,
like
no, I mean,
communication.
you know, maybe he just isn't. I'm not great at those things. I feel like I'm good at letting people know that I care, but I'm not good at the mementos. I'm not good at like the handcrafted
he wasn't even good.
stuff.
He wasn't even good.
You know?
in
But I
words.
let people know. But I do let people know that I appreciate them. There's nobody in my life that I could think of that I haven't told them specifically why I appreciate them. Like, this is why I appreciate you are in my life. I don't let those things go by. I don't.
Yeah.
But I definitely am not good
Showing
at making a
appreci-
banner
Showing
or making
appreciation. That's
you know,
that's what the point I was trying to get
Yeah.
across. Showing appreciation.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Getting to the point. Your pool.
Yeah.
I went and did your pool, and
thank you, man.
I didn't.
I was so broke.
Yeah.
I'm still so broke.
I
but-
didn't
was so
didn't want
screwed.
anything for it. Didn't want anything for it. Didn't want to.
Yeah.
I did it because I know, and I told Dustin this too. I know what type of person you are. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like if one day, you know, one day something, you just do things. You're that type out of your heart and your soul. You know what I'm saying? You do things nice. I don't need reward. You know what I'm saying? I knew there was no reward needed. I knew one day, you know, you just are that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I sent you one of my coolest mementos a while back. 100th fight.
Yeah, the
that I
glove,
still
yeah.
have that one
Yeah.
of my. You got me that for from the school, and
You know what's crazy about that kind of stuff is I'll get things for people and I don't remember it. I'll do that, and like my wife will remind me all the time, like, you don't remember that? I'm like, no, I don't remember any of that. I don't know why. It doesn't stick in my head. And I just do things because I try to do things without, like I just do it because I want to do it, like not because I owe it or whatever. I just do it because I want to do it for somebody. And so like I think once I do it, I just kind of forget about it. I don't like put anything into it other than like I did it because I thought that person deserved whatever I did for them or whatever, or I wanted to do it for them. But then it's like a moment for me that's over, and I don't think about it. Now pictures, I am a goofball for pictures. Like I do stare at old pictures all the time.
Yeah,
I have a lot of pictures, and those things I guess are my mementos or whatever.
Now,
I do
the most important memory.
Memory, yeah.
Like that empty wall right there. You know what I'm gonna do with that wall? I told you one of these
Yeah,
days
you-
I'm gonna make
It's
a
yours,
whole
man.
wall of fame. Yeah,
if
because
you
we
wanna
have
put
so
stuff on
many
it, man.
pictures. I did it for the other player at Legion. If you
Yeah.
if you go in there, their whole office, if you see it, it's all their. I paid my own money.
Yeah.
I'm proud of it. You know, they have a whole wall of fame. The whole place
I don't want to
is
I'm not trying to put them down or anything. But
no, but I want.
But if you want to,
I want that. You know what I'm saying? That was the idea I wanted here, but
Yeah,
when I
we were
went,
talking about it
when
before,
I
yeah.
went there, I actually was able to do it because I wanted to do it here. So now that I'm back,
Well, we have
I
this
wanna-
new side now that
Yeah.
we got room to
the
do
new
stuff too.
the new striking side, which I love. Like play my crazy music on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That you guys want to come in and box with me, or come get a personal session with me on Sundays.
Sundays.
I'm usually here on Sundays. Is the day I like. I got a lot of kids now, though, man.
That's cool.
No, it's not my back and my knees.
Oh,
man.
because you gotta get down.
Well, you know, I because I do them at 2 at a time,
Mhm.
and it's just a lot of on my knees. I don't get to come up that, so it's.
Well, I was gonna ask you to make Brock's punch better, even though he
Yeah.
made his
How old
other
is he now?
brother his other brother bleed. But I thought, well, maybe if he did it better.
How old is he? now?
10,
10. Oh, yeah. Oh,
10, 7.
He's old enough. He's old enough and capable, so we should be easy.
He can follow directions well. Ryder, he's just wild. So
That's why he's
I
more.
don't. The older one is less wild. Like the older one would be more technical and enjoy learning how to be technical.
Who's better on the ground?
Brock, the older one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ryder's he's just still young. He's 7. You know, it's all fun and games. You know, which is fine. I don't want to push him to be. I don't want it not to be fun. I don't want it to be a chore. I don't want him to go, oh no, I hate that. You know,
when it's no fun no more. It's just that's why I want.
just the trick is to keep it fun.
Yeah, that's what I do with every class. I
Yeah.
try to make it fun. That's why you hear
You wanna go.
clucking and stuff like that. It just sucks the pandemic, man. I miss having, you know. I don't get me wrong. I like small classes. I get a lot of mitts done.
Yeah.
But love having a big class so I can get everybody clucking and doing. You know.
Yeah. Oh, big class is always fun.
Yeah, I just wish this pandemic stuff would go away.
Me too.
And we can go get back to normal stuff. Like I miss watching gauntlets and big giant gauntlets when we used to have over here. Oh my God, people get murdered.
Mhm.
I used to sit there, boxing guy. I used to love watching it. Matter of fact, I was part of a gauntlet, Ronnie's gauntlet for his purple belt.
I stopped filming them because I was like, this might freak people out that don't know what we're doing here. That might look like hazing more than what it is or whatever.
You know what? One thing I noticed was at the other school, how they promote people like that. They don't have that kind of like to me.
Most schools don't do that.
Honestly,
No.
I felt you're earning it. That's
You're earning
you're
it.
earning this
Oh,
mother.
100%.
No, earning this motherfucker. You're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
earn
No,
this
no, no.
shit.
Yeah, nobody walks away from here with a belt that goes, man, I didn't deserve that. They're like, no, I took a beating for that.
Yeah, I just say I'm not down in the
I
other,
do a
other
tech-
place, but I'm just
so,
saying like
yeah.
when they promote you,
No,
they
that's
just
like-
promote you.
that's most gyms
You
do that.
put you through the ringer like everybody else. Like that, I enjoy that. I think that's
Yeah.
very. That's a good foundation that makes you
And
school the way
everyone
it is.
has a hand in it. Like everyone has a hand in getting you that next belt.
Getting you that, yeah.
Where like
they're
At gym,
sharing the memory.
it was just me handing you the belt. No, and everyone's standing around.
And the memory's only
they're
with you
clapping
two,
you.
yeah.
Just us two.
Now you share it
But
with everybody.
when we do a gauntlet and everyone has a piece of you getting a little hit in,
Yeah.
a little whatever, it's just we get to spread it around.
Where'd you get that at anyway?
Joe Morera, guy gave me my black belt. He does them, and
genius.
then my instructor did them too because he was under him. So Jerry Larita was my instructor, and then he was under Joe Morera at the time, and Joe Morera did it. But Joe Morera's, he does everything from striking. So each guy you fight is punching you.
And I know that in
And you have
purple
jiu-jitsu.
belt.
In purple belt, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Purple
But
belt.
Joe
you
does
doing
it.
brown belt too.
Yeah.
How does
And I stopped doing for black belt. Now I just give people black belts because, like, at that point, man, you already
you earned it?
took enough beatings, and you were already, you know what you're doing. You know how to defend yourself. I'm not nervous that it's funny, like during the pandemic, I did a couple people, we weren't going to do gauntlets, and they later asked me, hey, can we do a gauntlet for me? I had 2 people do that.
Oh yeah.
2 people like, hey, I didn't get a gauntlet. Can I get a gauntlet? And I was like,
that's respect.
sure, man. I was like, we
Right,
could
we
do
could-
that. We could do
set
that.
up a-
Like,
we had a good time. It's your ass
everyone's-
whooping.
everyone loves it, so we could do it. Yeah.
Here's my question for you though. Because that now you're with you're with Kyle.
Yeah.
How
I've been
does
with
he-
it 8 years now.
How's he feel about gauntlet?
So the belt whipping, where they whip you with the belt, I got that from him.
Okay.
I just did the Shark Tank, where you fight everyone in class. It's fresh. He does the belt whipping, so I combined both of them. But he went away from that a lot too, because of the perception, like, of hitting people with belts and stuff.
Oh, it's all
Kyle's hardcore though.
Yeah,
People
you're
don't
earning it. You gotta
Again,
earn this
people do
shit.
not understand Kyle. Kyle believes in training multiple times, and he trains 7 days a week. 7 days a week.
Well, that's why he's good.
And but
That's
he
why
doesn't
he's
take
world champion.
but he doesn't take steroids. So it's like his trick is what I've been trying to do now is he sleeps. He always gets I think he gets like 8 to 10 hours a day, which is a lot.
Wow.
But he trains every frigging day.
Wow.
Every freaking and when I say he trains, he's training with monsters. He's not training with like a bunch of white belts.
High level black belts.
Yeah. So everyone's trying to kill you. And because he's the top dog, everyone wants to say that they beat Kyle. Oh, I want to say that
yeah.
I beat the top.
Got a big target on your back.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah.
I tell you, he reminds me of Yoda. He's a little small little guy.
Yeah,
Reminds me- I told you he
he's
had a
so
Yoda.
technical.
That's what when we're talking about it. I was like,
Yoda.
when he walked in, I said he had a Yoda
Yeah.
presence about him, and you're like, oh yeah, you're like, oh yeah, he did, yeah, he does. That's
and
what
he's smart. He's an intelligent guy, and I love being under Kyle. I really do. I texted him last week, and I started training again, and I said, hey man, you taught this thing in January, right before the pandemic hit off. He did a seminar at Jay's, and I saw it, and I had a question about it. I said, it was a simple question. I said, why don't you told me in the video, don't put your foot on the hip, put it around.
Mhm.
And he's like, and I said, why? I believe you that it's right, and I do it that way, but I'm just curious, what is the reasoning? And he texted me back. He was on vacation with his brother in Mexico. It was his brother's birthday, but he still texted me back
the answer.
and answered me, like, because he respects, I think,
He
thinking about
respects the
jiu-jitsu.
question. Yeah,
He respects
yeah.
questions.
Yeah, it's like chess. You're like,
he
okay,
respects the game, and he likes when you're trying to think the game out instead of just like go hard and whatever. Like, he likes go hard, but like everything has a reason and a purpose. He doesn't do random anything. There's nothing that he does random. He doesn't go like, whatever. No, like he has all his grips are purposeful. He'll be like, that's wrong. It's that. Like, that's how technical he is. Inch off is not right. It's not kind of right. It's wrong in his mind. And I try to be like that. I'm just not at that level. But I enjoy, I'm glad I'm under him. I really am. And I love Joe Morera too, but like I couldn't text Joe Morera a question and him answer me back. He just wouldn't answer me back. He just
Jiu-jitsu's not his life. Like Kyle. Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm saying like Kyle's like that's his. He sleeps and he's.
Kyle could be
he's-
poor and still want to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm saying,
eats, breathes jiu-jitsu.
It's stamped in his blood, I think,
For sure.
than Joe. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he comes from
I don't know, maybe Joe. I think it just
That's just my opinion. My opinion.
It's crazy to me that how many people have Kyle's number, and I think he responds. I'm assuming he responds to them. You know, Joe has lots of numbers on his phone too. I just don't think he responds to them. Like, I think it's just part of his personality or whatever. But for me, I needed, as a teacher, I need someone to teach me. I want to learn. Like, I like to learn. So that's why I'm with Kyle and why I stick with him, you know, because he's always been upfront with teaching and wanting to get better and not just, like, take money. Like, I pay him, but it's not about that. Like, it's about learning, and I respect that. And I don't think he likes the gauntlets because for the optics of it, you know, he doesn't want people to look in and go, oh man, they're abusing people or something, you know. And I think it's more a business thing for him, that part, like like, hey, I don't think you should do that. But if you watch how they roll, it's
they're real hardcore.
When I roll with them, when I try to do their comp class, they do comp class every afternoon. I think it's 12 to 2 or 2 to 4. And it's open to anyone in the world can show up. So they have dudes that show up from other schools that are top of the food chain. And you could hang. They go hard. Everyone, and they do 8-minute rounds with 2-minute rest. And I thought 2-minute rest, but then when you go that hard, like, you want your full 2-minute rest because the next guy is another hard guy. It's like if you were sparring boxing and you're doing a bunch of rounds and you had like you threw in one guy that is like easy round. You know what I mean? Like, I had 2 hard rounds, but then I'm going to have 1 easy round. There's no like easy round there, really. Like, everybody's a hard round. There's not like taking a round off. It's like, go hard, then go hard again, then go hard again, go hard again, go hard again. And those dudes, when they're tired, they'll pick the hardest guy when they're tired. Like, when there's nothing left in your tank, they'll go, okay, cool, now I want to roll with Kyle. Like, that's their mentality there. And I love that because I don't always have that mentality. There's plenty of times when I'm tired, I'm like,
I'll put you on the spot.
I won't sit out, but I'm going to roll with someone that I can at least hang.
I'll put you on a spot on a question.
Okay.
Because you've done many, many, many gauntlets.
Okay.
There's got to be one special one that you can remember out all these years, out of one student.
I did this gauntlet when I ran Jerry Larita School, and it's Lyle, and Lyle might listen to this. He lives in Montana now, and he has 1 lung. He's just born with 1 lung, I think. And he rolled with us all the time. But we did a gauntlet, and he started turning white and then kind of bluish, and his lips started, like, turning purplish.
Oh, shit.
And he was having a asthma attack. And Paula, do you remember Paula?
Yeah, Paula, yeah. I still talk
Paula,
to her.
she lived. He lived close to that gym. It was like 19th and Union Hills. He lived like across the street, and she lived close to him. So she went home and got her nebulizer for her son. She brought it to the gym. We stuck it on him, and I think we waited like 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes to get through the juice or whatever they put in there. Have you ever seen those machines? Yeah. And then I was like, all right, cool. We have 3 more guys you got to do. And I made him finish the gauntlet.
Oh, awesome.
I made him finish.
But he earned it.
But I think I don't think I've talked to him since, but I think he respected that. He won't go home and go, oh, they didn't, I didn't get to do the full gauntlet, or I didn't finish it, or what, like, oh, they lessened it for me because I have 1 heart or 1 lung. I was like, nah, man, you have to do this one. And back then I was even more hardcore than I am now. So like, I've made him, I was like, yeah, you have to do this, man. And so that one will always stick out in my mind, that like he came close to like going emergency room. I don't know about dying, but really close. I had my
Purple
phone.
lips is a big thing.
I had my phone on 911. I was ready. I just was gonna hit send if I had to. I had it already because that's how worried I was.
Oh man.
And then if Paula even took maybe a minute longer getting back, I was gonna call 911. I was like, I think he has to. He was like having real trouble getting breathing, like getting it in, the lungs in. But that one was hard. And then my last gauntlet I ever did for myself was a brown belt, and I don't know if you know Sal.
Yeah, Sal. Sal, he was a purple. He was
big
a brown
dude.
belt at the time.
Yeah, but he's a big dude.
Big ball-headed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Sal. I remember Sal.
Strong dude.
Is he not still here?
He lives in Casa Grande, so
Okay.
every once in a while he'll come
Yeah,
by, just hang out on
I do
Saturdays.
remember Sal. I do.
Yeah, he's a monster. And he was in my gauntlet, and I had to take the punches. So I was in guard, and he punched me in the nuts. He didn't mean to. I just moved weird, and he hit me in the nutsack, and I couldn't flex my stomach because it hurt so bad. And he hit me in the stomach.
And he has a fighting background.
Yeah, he used to fight MMA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has a fighting background.
No, and he was a gold medal jiu-jitsu guy. Multiple Pan Ams. He had multiple gold medals at every belt. And he was a tough, and he's huge. He's 6'1", probably 220 at the time.
I boxed him. I believe I boxed him
210.
out over there,
Yeah, he's tough. But I didn't flex. So imagine taking shots to your stomach, out flex with that guy. He hit me maybe 10, 15 shots without flexing your stomach. You know, like I wasn't, you know, like
You weren't prepared for it.
you know, you can flex it up a little bit. I was just bleh, right into my guts. And that night, and then I had to do the gauntlet after that.
Oh God.
So then so we do the punching part before the actual gauntlet, and I had 33 guys I had to fight. So I fought for 33 minutes straight, and they get tougher as you go because you start at white belt and you go up to black belt.
every minute.
Every minute. Yeah, everyone's fresh for a minute. And so I fought 33 minutes straight after I got hit in the stomach. And when I went home, I think I was pooing blood.
Yeah, I think so.
And then one of the nurses told me that she thought maybe I bruised my bowels or something like that. But it had so much pain in my stomach. It felt like I was getting hit with knives, like stabbing me at night. I was having all these stabbing pains in my stomach, but not like gas, but like knives. And that was a memorable gauntlet. My own personal gauntlet. But that was the last one I did. And then for black belt, I had to do the MMA fight. So yeah, those were my
Now you're a two-stripe right now.
I'm a third degree.
Okay. So two-stripe, you can promote black belt, right?
I think they changed it to 3 now.
Is it? Okay.
I have problems with the IBJJF because they haven't recognized my other 2 stripes yet. And this is funny because you pay them for the card every year, your black belt card to compete. And I've been paying since 2012. I got my black belt in 2009, but I started paying in 2012. And then I didn't pay 2 years. And they're like, well, we don't count those 2 years because I didn't pay them. Even though I had... It's just a money thing. IBJJF is
it's politics.
Politics and money is the problem.
That ruins everything. Everything.
All right, anything else you want to say?
Well,
talking a long time.
We'll consider this part 1. Let's do
part
this
one.
again.
I'm down.
Let's do this again because again, I had fun talking and this was all right. It's
Thanks.
healthy.
Yeah. I think you were nervous. I was gonna I don't know, try to call you out or something like that. Like,
No. I want to. I like it.
All right.
Especially I'm comfortable talking to you, so I can do this all damn day.
All right,
So
cool.
we'll call this part 1, and we'll definitely do this again. I like it.
Sweet.
I can drink a soda on the couch and talk shit all day.
All right, peace.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder, either stalling or you're climbing, and I'd rather be the latter. Instead of getting fatter, let the footsteps resume naturally.